Hello, my name is Phillip Seuss. I am a pre-doctoral psychology intern with Western Nebraska Behavioral Health. If you're anything like me, self-distancing during the time of coronavirus has proven challenging, namely the difference with scheduling. So having gone from set schedule, knowing what I'm going to do, Monday through Friday and on the weekends, the transition to having seemingly an endless supply of free time these days has proven very, very difficult to manage. So how is it that we can continue to ensure that we're getting the things done that we need to while still maintaining a healthy balance of work and home life? Also, if you're like many out there, how do we manage the different roles that we have to fulfill? So that of employee, that of mother, father, husband, wife. How are we able to do all of these different things and still maintain our own health and well-being? How are we able to balance work demands, home demands, keeping up with our household duties, and still having new roles thrust upon us, such as being the full-time caregiver, the teacher for our children? How are we able to manage these different things? The key, I think, is finding a way to normalize ourselves, right? To find this new normal, so to speak. And so how can we do that? Maintaining or establishing some sort of routine or schedule, I think, can be very, very beneficial and helps to keep us and our children on track. So just managing good time management. How can we do this? I think that more important than a set schedule, I would say, would be routine, anchoring a wake-up point. So for instance, breakfast at 7:15, cleanup at 7:30. The specific time, I think, is less important than the activity itself. So maybe establishing a new routine at home. We wake up, then we complete our daily hygiene activities, then maybe it's breakfast, then possibly schoolwork for a set amount of time, then maybe play, or, for adults, waking up, taking care of hygiene, managing kind of the household, setting things up, getting our children ready, and then setting aside our own work time. Just establishing this, I think, can be very, very helpful for the household and helps to kind of provide that sense of normal, the new normal. So establishing this structure, I would suggest placing it somewhere up in the home. So working together, sitting down as a family and figuring out the workflow and how your family flows through the various portions of the day. Also bearing in mind the different psychological components as far as our ability to sustain attention for adults as well as for children. So thinking about building in 30-minute breaks. Attention is cyclical in nature, so it waxes and wanes throughout the day, typically in 90 to 110-minute intervals. So if we're trying to engage in a work project, or if we're trying to teach our children, bearing in mind that the maximum is going to be 90 to 110 minutes for adults and shorter intervals for children, of course. Establishing kind of these 30-minute break sessions is essential, and in fact has been proven scientifically as far back as 1885. Presenting difficult to learn material and having short 30-minute breaks in between actually helps children to retain information and process, be able to recall that information more fully when asked later, versus having children kind of maintain this long, prolonged exposure. Having these 30-minute breaks fairly frequently can help with that learning and with the processing of information. So interspersing periods of, say, things like enrichment activities, so maybe art or music time, or allowing children to engage in play, so free play, unstructured free play, just time for children to really just be kids and kind of explore their environment on their own without necessarily structured rules. This allows the child to kind of regenerate and allows that information to process a little bit more, and ultimately ends up in better retention further on down the line. Also remembering to practice good self-care. For more information on this, you can see some of our other videos, which are linked below, but self-care is also something which should be included in our routine for children and for adults. So having this time to ourselves to reestablish and to kind of regenerate. Also, being kind to ourselves and others. Giving ourselves credit for the things that we are able to accomplish during the day is essential towards our well-being. As Mr. Fred Rogers stated, some days doing the best we can may still fall short of what we would like to be able to do, but life isn't perfect on any front, and doing what we can with what we have is the most we should expect of ourselves or anyone else. So in conclusion, remember, be kind to yourselves and to one another, and thank you for watching.